MLB The Show dropped its new cover athlete announcement. It was a weird sequence of events, I won't lie. In case you missed it, or just getting in the loop like many rational people who aren't obsessed with the game, like I am every year, MLB The Show posted this all on their socials, saying there will be no new cover athlete. A whole bunch of theories divulged from this tweet, because you could take this multiple ways. I think there was one intended way they wanted people to take it. I don't know, an old cover athlete who was on the game. It could have even been a legend like a Miguel Cabrera, because people saw the colors. They were like, oh, Miguel Cabrera. Could it be Barry Bonds, because he was on MLB 03? It was tough to tell, in a sense, because there was no discrete answer. Vince Scully cover, kind of a dub. Cringe AI, though. I don't know what this is. I don't know who is this even supposed to be. But yeah, point is, they announced this. Nobody knew who the cover athlete was. And spoiler alert, my Pookie Aaron Judge, my GOAT. And this is a little video that they played.
What's next?
Yep. Yes, Aaron Judge is the cover. I am happy as Mr. Yankee fan. And we got a whole bunch of other videos. They go through highlights of his career here, including his time at Fresno State. Only have X amount of schools in Road to the Show. So adding Fresno State is one of those schools. Makes sense because of Aaron Judge. It is exciting and I think a good cover. I feel like he gets a bit of hate from people, partly because he's a Yankee. Partly it's just how the world is nowadays. I saw someone make a really poorly AI edited cover dropping the fly ball in the World Series. That took a couple years off my life. I even saw some people who just don't like Aaron Judge said they wanted to be Bonds, and it was another poorly AI edited Barry Bonds cover. Took another couple years off my life. Not really any news on this Twitter besides this article. And of course this in MLB 25, they have a 99 overall Judge. That is a cover athlete captain, which we'll probably mess around with. But I want to talk about the news because in case you are just hopping on into the MLB The Show hype after hearing the cover news, probably wondering what the heck has even happened news-wise this year. So I kind of want to run down what we know. They've already posted a few articles last year about some news. So I want to start off there before we go into the new game stuff. This is the first article that we got last year. We're going back in time a bit. They basically posted this article trying to just give some initial goals for the game. Like, hey, we're going to try to do this in this mode. I'll be honest, there isn't much discrete news here. They say they want to deliver the most authentic on-field experience in gameplay. We're focusing on advanced logic and new data metrics, redefining ratings, pitch effects, and bat ball physics. Redefining ratings, I don't know entirely what that entails, but, you know, basically they're changing ball physics and pitch physics. I think the pitch physics has the biggest implication to change gameplay, especially if you play online all the time. Will probably change what is the meta for online play. Diamond Dynasty is filled with a lot of just lefties with funky releases, with outlier fastballs and good sliders and sinker and cutter pitchers, and not enough of pitches like curveballs being super effective. Bat ball physics I'm curious about too, because when you play the game all the time, you recognize that, you know, you see a lot of the same hits over and over and over again. Diamond Dynasty, they have now in later packs in MLB 25. You can get packs in MLB 25 for also MLB 26. We're delivering engaging content for players to live their MLB fantasy, as well as new ways to play and use your squads. Road to the Show, they were adding more colleges, and we found out the colleges later on, and focus on the mid to late career, which is exciting to me because I've been playing Road to the Show lately. And you realize after the first beginning part of Road to the Show, when you get called up, it's the same old thing. Franchise, they say they're going to be deeper, more immersive, and challenging systems shaped by community feedback. Don't know what that meant. It feels like almost not like legal jargon, but like gameplay developer jargon, where it's like they got to put these buzzwords to draw intrigue, like building deeper, more immersive, and challenging systems. And then they talk about it now in later packs. That is basically it in this post. This is the first news we got. This is all the way back in like November. So this is like beginning of the timeline for MLB 26. So we got some news in December about the game, albeit, you know, it might not be the news most people want, nor news that reaches a lot of people because it's an article written on their site. They're adding new catches on the run that allow fielders to cover bases in a more realistic and efficient way. New, more efficient cutoff throws to corner infielders to get rid of the ball more naturally. What I am picturing here is when you have a fly ball to left field or right field and you go to throw it home, and the first baseman or the third baseman cuts it off. Those animations weren't the best. They weren't really very fluid. Catchers with the pop time quirk. Actually, no, it's an attribute. What am I saying? So now pop time is an attribute, which is, I think that's a good thing, because they used to have it as just a quirk, and people were just like, oh, you need the pop time quirk to be good. And the game is weird outside of Diamond Dynasty with pop time, because I don't know how quirks work even in like Road to the Show or any like offline mode. Like if players get quirks just randomly that get added to the roster, like players that get drafted and all of that. So having it be an attribute, I think, will make that a little bit more fluid. D-down catchers have a full arsenal of new animations, which, oh, that's good. These are good. It probably won't change the grand scheme of gameplay. When you see animations, like, they help. New suite of gameplay features such as bear down, big zone hitting, PCI sensitivity, fixed zone, and free anchor. ABS and pitch comm, a lot of people have discussed, oh, it's going to help Diamond Dynasty because you have so many of those pitches end up right on the black and they don't get called strikes. The thing is, Diamond Dynasty, you usually play with perfect strike zones. So this doesn't really affect that, I don't think. Is just going to be for franchise, which I personally think. I think this will be cool because I like using not perfect zones. I kind of like being able to yell at the umpire for being blind. PCI sensitivity is going to help a lot for gameplay. I mean, I still play the game all the time using precision rings, and that probably won't change because just like having like these on a left stick gives your stick more like precision. But sensitivity will be good. I think what's going to happen though with sensitivity is there's going to be some pros and cons of having different sensitivities. Like some people are going to probably turn down their sensitivity and say, yeah, that's the solution. That's all I need to do. Just lower sensitivity and I'm good. But you might not have the same level of reach. Like you might not be able to reach further out with a lower sensitivity. You know, in other games like shooters, you hear it talk about sensitivity curves and how much the sensitivity moves because the stick, it either goes 100% to one direction or 0%, like, and everywhere in between. It has a limited range. So you decrease sensitivity, something's got to either give or that sensitivity can't be linear. So this is kind of one that we got to get a hold of and see how beneficial it is. I could see people like me who've been playing for a while, who like the precision ring setup and just are comfortable with that, potentially not changing much. Anchor mirror, where it will stay where you previously set it. I think what this means, my anchor mirror, either it just means every single time you set your anchor your PCI, the next batter or next pitch, it'll keep it there. Either that, or my guess is if you like keeping it inside as a lefty hitter versus righties, then if you use a righty hitter, it'll mirror it to the other side. So it'll be inside for righties. I don't know exactly what it means. We'll test it out. And then to me, bear down sounds like maybe some form of PCI anchoring or something along those lines. It rewards you predicting a certain spot. Like it's a matter of like being like predicting a small spot in the zone, and if you guess right, it would be rewarding. And then big zone hitting might be the reverse or the antithesis of it, where you could cover a wider range, but maybe it's not as rewarding. I don't know. It's just wording. We got to find out specifics, but that was my guess. Franchise stuff they showed here. They have a revamped front office experience, a brand new trade experience, and improved lineup and rotation logic. I don't know what the last thing means, streamlining things, but maybe just more settings, easier ways to go through franchise, because there are a lot of different weeks and stuff you got to keep up with, like with offering contracts and stuff that I could see people not understanding or not getting. But they showed a little bit of the lineup stuff. One thing I noticed while playing Road to the Show recently, lineups sucked. Like there was a stacked Dodgers lineup, right? It had like Ohtani, who was still like over like around 95 overall. It was like a stupid stacked lineup. But Brendan Doyle was hitting second. He was like arguably the worst hitter. I also faced the Mariners in the World Series, who traded away Cal Raleigh, and they had some good hitters, but they had Ji-Hwan Bae as their two hitter. And I was like, huh? So this seemingly will make lineup logic a little better, and it'll just also go on player performance for the year, not just their attributes. Visually, this is a good one because like last year, like they have Dominguez hitting second. He should not have been hitting second in that Yankee lineup. Judge, though, is their best hitter. He's the guy hitting second. Obviously, this isn't exactly what the Yankee lineup would look like IRL, potentially. I don't think they want Jazz cleanup in real life, but, you know, this is a lot more of a proper lineup, having the best hitter in the 2 spot, having a good on-base guy in the leadoff spot. So I think this is a good one, because this was one thing that always took me out of the loop with franchise. But again, it's just one small part of it. Road to the Show, I think they already talked about here how they add more colleges. They revealed OSU in Carolina. Once we got the cover athlete, though, we got this article. And this is, I think this one's got the most juice here. Actually, no, I wouldn't say the most juice, but it's got a little bit more juice to squeeze. Here's our cover athlete in 2018. We don't need to talk about MLB The Show 18. You don't need to. Obviously, they're highlighting him being in the World Baseball Classic. It's a part of the marketing of the game, the World Baseball Classic. Tinfoil hat on. You would like to think the World Baseball Classic is a central part of this game. Speaking that the cover is marketing him as also the Team USA captain. That's what I would like to hope. But based on what they say, we get the gameplay trailer on Thursday. Thursday? That's not Thursday. The 3rd? Tuesday next week. Plus a few special surprises. Totally some sort of legends and stuff in there, like you tend to see. The World Baseball Classic tournament returns to Diamond Dynasty. So I don't know. Does this mean that we're just getting WBC content in Diamond Dynasty? Is there more there? I don't know. It's cool to see they definitely plan on having Diamond Dynasty stuff in the game. This is the only other stuff to get out of it, I think. Gameplay trailer next week. Feature trailer, deep dives, updates on standard and digital deluxe editions, a new pre-order loyalty discount, and more. Yes, we found out the cover this week. We have all that previous news. We don't have really any other news. Let me see if anyone asked any good questions. I bet you we have some here. Do we think A-Rod is in the game? I mean, he's one of the few legends, I think, that could really get people excited like we had with like a Manny Ramirez last year and bringing Ted Williams back. Do I think he's in the game? Probably no. Would I love if he was, and would that generate a lot of hype if he was? Absolutely. But there's no way to really tell. I could see someone like Ichiro being added this year. A lot of times, like to add guys right around that time they're voted in or they are in the Hall of Fame. I had wanted to see Andrew Jones, but I've seen people mention it that he had some like previous domestic violence charges, and that's gotten some people taken out of the game in the past. A lot of players who they took out who had weird like previous charges, you know, they didn't get inducted into the Hall of Fame after the fact. And it's tough to tell if there's that correlation exactly the same with Andrew Jones. But either way, he was in the show. He hasn't been in a while. I think it'd be cool to see him in the game again, but we'll see. I also want Mariano Rivera in the game again, but that case involving him is apparently not gone anywhere. I like Control Freaks, and which ones do I recommend? Yes, I love the Lotus. Those are my favorite. Ideally, the ones I use all the time, but I got to get a pair for the Xbox or for my PS5 style thumbsticks on my Xbox controller. But the Lotus are my go-to, and on Xbox, I like using purple precision rings for hitting and no precision rings for pitching. I definitely use them, and I probably still will be using them with this PCI sensitivity. And I guess with all this stuff that they have announced, I'm excited for this game. I do plan on playing it. We're obviously going to be making content and streaming it. And it's all expected. And I love my guy Aaron Judge is on the cover. This is my dude. He's my favorite player right now. I know I've talked about a bit how Glaber's my guy, but I've loved Judge. I love Judge, man. He's also still a Yankee. But I think it's a good cover. I think it's a good athlete for the cover. I'm excited for the changes, but we also still don't know much, nor am I really expecting that much. I'm trying not to get my expectations too high. As much as I love this game and really want it to be an amazing game like I'm addicted to, like I was 7 years ago, and with this game still selling as well as it does every year, I have a tough time believing those changes will happen. I know people ask about graphics changes, like do you think the game could look better and stuff? They might make some minor changes, but I would be shocked to see drastically different graphics. I'd be shocked to see drastically different feeling gameplay. It's going to be pretty similar with minute improvements year to year, I think. And if you like that and you like the changes that get added, then you'll probably have a good time buying it. But if you have a previous game and there isn't much that sells you on the new one, that's also entirely reasonable, I think. And I actually watched a good video today. I've actually been watching a bit of his videos recently. He does a great job of talking about sports games. Soft Drink TV. He made a good video today talking about just MLB The Show 26. And I think where his mindset is probably pretty similar to mine. And I'm someone who loves this game and I play this game year in, year out. And I think it's a general problem with a lot of sports games. But MLB The Show falls victim to it too. They make so much damn money every year. Sports games will never change from this yearly model unless something drastic changes. And while MLB The Show, I think, from my experience with other sports games, is one of the best experiences at the very minimum. It could be so much better, but they'll never take the time or have the time to make the changes that you would probably want because the game comes out every year. It's just unrealistic for it to happen because guess what? What they did like last year in 24 and 23, they end up selling like a top 15 game in the country. And I'll tell you what, Sony's probably happy with that. And especially none of the news announced really changed my mind on that. But It'll be a good time. What do we think? We'll do a poll in the chat. We'll do a poll and we'll ask, how excited are we for MLB 26? Scale of 1 to 10. How excited are we for MLB 25? Me personally, I'll probably sit right around here. Want to see what they bring to the table? Yeah, we also haven't heard much news, and the game comes out in a month and a half. They have been lumping all their marketing to the game for like the last 2 months of the game. And Cover Athlete doesn't really change the mind for many people. I will say, with Judge on the cover, I want to make sure I get a physical disc. I like having my physical cases for the players I enjoy. If you were going to get the game anyway, and you know you wanted to play right away, that would be the only time I'd pre-order it. And that's just a general trend with all games, because I've gotten the game sent to me ever since MLB 21. So 5 years now. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So I'm in a position where I get the game sent to me thanks to SDS. They don't do that to change my reviews or anything. Send out packages to creators that they enjoy interacting with, and it includes getting access to the game right away. And I would probably be pre-ordering it if I didn't get it sent to me, because of course I play this game all year, make content on it. But realistically, if you're just a person who just enjoys MLB The Show, it's very reasonable to not pre-order. And it's especially reasonable to just wait till the game comes out and then get your thoughts then. Right now, we got the cover. We got a little bit of news. The news is just going to be starting. And the next month and a half, we're going to have news every week about new features, trailers, stuff like that. So now we're going to be finding out all this stuff. So if you're on the fence or want to know, make sure you're paying attention now, because now we're going to start getting the stuff. And if this stuff they already announced is like the peak of the announcements, we might have some problems. But at the end of the day, it probably won't change much anyway. So we'll have to see what actually ends up happening. That's everything on MLB 26 right now. And we'll make sure to be covering it more. If you aren't following the channel here, make sure you do. Every time we get news, we will make sure to cover it here and yap about it. I'm going to be talking about all my thoughts on the game and stuff like that. Just stuff like this where we just talk about MLB The Show and all that extra scan content on the Scan Plays channel.